good send-off. And it's marvellous to have an audience like that on our last show. A bittersweet moment. I've been away from the West End of London, the West End Theatre, for 15 years, doing other things in other places. So to come back to this cathedral of British variety, and to be in a dressing room, I thought, who'd been in that dressing room? You know, so many people. Judy Garland, Danny Kaye, Jack Benny, Bruce Forsyth. And so I'm dragging myself away. I'm reminded very much of my student days back in my hometown of Melbourne, when in the 50s of last century I invented some of these characters, and at the time they said to me in Melbourne, "It's fine for Melbourne, don't go to Sydney with any of this because it is too Melbourne. They won't get it." And anyway, they're all descended from convicts in Sydney, whereas we, of course, saw ourselves as descended from tourists. Then, some years later in Sydney, they said, "Don't go to England. It's too Australian, all this." They're a bit backward in England, particularly in certain sporting areas. So I couldn't resist it, I'm sorry. And then later on in London, they said, "Don't go to America because, as Trudy knows, they have no sense of humour." Such was the popular superstition. And then many years later on Broadway, they said, "Whatever you do, don't do your show in Melbourne, Florida." And they were right. So thank you for coming. I wish you, of course, if not a prosperous, more importantly, a happy New Year. I thank my co-star tonight, Joyce. Simply, I would like you all to do me just one simple favour. Would you all, each and every one of you, promise without fail, to come along to my next farewell show?